we know for sure that what is real is his transformation, because the next paragraph explains, the next morning, young Goodman Brown came slowly into the street of Salem Village, staring around him like a bewildered man. So he comes out of that forest the next morning, weird, changed, strange, unhappy, scared. The good old minister was taking a walk along the gravel yard. So this is the real minister, okay, to get an appetite for breakfast and meditate on his sermon. So he's doing normal things. And bestowed a blessing as he passed on Goodman Brown. Now Brown, instead of saying, hi, Brown shrank from the venerable saint as if to avoid an anathema. He was suspicious of this man. Old Deacon Gookin was at a domestic worship, and the holy words of his prayer were heard through the open window. So he was at someone's house, a domestic worship. He was worshiping in someone's home, and the prayer came through the window. Brown could hear him, and what's his reaction? What God doth a wizard pray to, quoth Goodman Brown. So again, he's suspicious. He doesn't trust the deacon. Goody Cloyce, that excellent old Christian, stood in the early sunshine, catechizing a little girl, meaning teaching a little girl some of the religious tenets, as a Sunday school teacher would. Goodman Brown snatched away the child, as if from the grasp of the fiend himself. So he took the child away from her. Now, everyone else thinks he's acting awfully strangely. And then, what about his wife? He spied the head of Faith with the pink ribbons, gazing anxiously forth and bursting into such joy at the sight of him that she skipped in the street and almost kissed her husband before the whole village. So, yay, it's Faith! They're reunited! But what does he do? Goodman Brown looks sternly and sadly into her face and passed on without greeting. He doesn't even say hello to her. There she is, skipping, happy, gonna kiss him. No. He walks right by. Doesn't even say hello. Had Goodman Brown fallen asleep in the forest, or only dreamed a wild dream of a witch meeting? Well, the narrator's not telling. The narrator asks us, was he dreaming? Was it real? What did he experience? Did he fall asleep? Be it so, if you will. But alas, it was a dream of evil omen for young Goodman Brown. So maybe it was a dream. The narrator is saying, if you think it was, okay. But for sure, the effect of the dream was that he is changed forever. A stern, a sad, a darkly meditative, a distrustful, if not desperate man did he become from the night of that fearful dream. So from then on, he was distrustful, he was suspicious, and he became a dark, sad man. He couldn't listen to the church service. That made him sad. And it says that even in prayer, he scowled, muttered to himself. He just could not go back to a healthy life. When he had lived long and was borne to his grave, that means carried, lifted and carried to his grave, a hoary corpse, followed by Faith, an aged woman, and children and grandchildren, a goodly procession, besides neighbors not a few, so lots of people came to his funeral. They carved no hopeful verse upon his tombstone, for his dying hour was gloom. And that's the end of the story. So they couldn't carve some happy little thing on his tombstone because his life had been just sad. And now even his dying hour was gloom. It's a very downer kind of story. But I think Hawthorne is trying to point out some important things here. I already mentioned hypocrisy of the church, especially the Puritan church, as well as the dark side of everyone, and how young Goodman Brown could not accept the fact that everyone has a dark side. That ruins the whole planet for him, ruins his life, ruins his relationship with his wife. He cannot get past it. He can't process it. Does that mean that his religious faith is not able to handle the question of evil, or does not fully answer the question of evil, or adequately answer the question of evil? Perhaps. Is it a cautionary tale saying, watch out, don't get caught up with all the darkness of this world so much that you can't see the light, the beauty, the love that's also here in the world. I think it could be all those things. The story is quite deep. Herman Melville, another American writer who wrote Moby Dick, said that this story was as deep as Dante. So as deep as a journey through hell, Dante being the famous writer of the Inferno, which is part of a three-part exploration of hell and purgatory and heaven. So this is the part that's an exploration of hell. It is that deep. It is a man's encounter with his own evil as well as the evil of other people and his inadequate answer. Hawthorne does not provide some sort of solution that would bring Goodman Brown back into a healthy relationship to other people, to his faith, to the woods, to the unknown, to the known. He's just really lost now. He's identified himself with evil, and he can't see what else matters. He can't see what else is in him or others. So it's a really sad story, but I hope you understand it better from this journey with me, and I hope you'll join me for another video sometime.